Welcome back, everybody, to Synalytics Crypto. My name is Mike. Thank you for joining me this afternoon, this evening, this morning, wherever you are in the world, whatever you are doing. I hope you're doing well. Going to talk about a couple things here today, guys, in the news, starting with my biggest holding and my favorite crypto, Cardano. Lots going on right now. Market's still dipping, right? But if you just can see past what's going on right now, there is a bright future for many of the cryptocurrencies. This shakeout probably really needed to happen, and we're going to go over one article in particular that talks a lot about exactly what I just stated. There's a shakeout, there's too many new investors in, but we're going to focus on Cardano right now because the Cardano Summer is upon us. Summer officially starts, I believe, on Monday, which is Labor Day, somewhere around there within a day or two of each other. And summertime, this summer is going to be very telling as to what's going on with the crypto market and particularly what's going on with Cardano, because it's time. Cardano has arrived. It is making waves. It is doing what it was always designed to do. They're actually achieving goals. So many things are happening. There is Cardano news all over the place every day. If you look and you understand how to find this kind of news, you'll see big things are coming. But we're going to start with this article right here. These price targets might be incoming during Cardano Summer. Like most alts in the market, Cardano too lost significant percentage of its value when the crypto market dipped in mid-May, while ADA recovered. Some of its losses at the time of writing the cryptocurrency was still well ahead of its all-time high of $2.45, and yet the degree of optimism associated with Cardano remains as high as ever. In some ways, this is an anomaly, not only because much of the crypto market is still bruising from the aforementioned depreciation event, but also because of the communities and of other alts like Dogecoin have steadily seen a drop in positive sentiment. Yeah, because Dogecoin's trash, and I've been telling you guys that for a long time. Take your money, move it into Cardano. Not financial advice, just saying. Why is this the case? And could ADA mimic its price action from the summer of 2020, a time during which the alt hiked by almost 550% in just 4 months? I'm going to stop there real quick. So in 2020, Cardano was a lot less. I mean, I don't know exactly where it was at, maybe 8, 10 something cents before it went on a big rally. So to 5.5x from there is a lot different than 5.5xing from right here, because ADA has increased in value quite a bit. So could this happen? Absolutely, because once people start to realize where putting their money is a good idea, and the fact that even though ADA has a very high supply and very high market cap, when Cardano really starts to create all of these things that they're working on right now, a lot of money is going to flood into Cardano. And everyone's been saying this summer is going to be the point where Cardano turns the corner, gets the smart contracts activated, the Alonzo, everything's going to start taking place. Guggen, I mean, big things are coming. So could it increase 550%? Absolutely. This is crypto. Look at how quickly things go up and how quickly things can retrace. News-based manipulation, all that stuff. Once we get through this rocky point that we're at right now, I think summer's going to be a blast off leading into the end of this year, and we're going to see new all-time highs across the board in many cryptocurrencies, especially Cardano. In a market as volatile as the present one, this is a very tricky question to answer. However, there are signs worth looking forward to. Signs would suggest bullish price action can be expected from Cardano in the near term. I agree. This was a sentiment recently shared by popular trader Lark Davis. Everybody loves Lark. He's a great dude, great positive guy. I've been watching Lark Davis for a long time. I really dig him. So he says, with the analysts asserting that soon Cardano Summer may be upon us, and there's a good reason for such optimism too, as revealed by IOHK's Charles Hoskinson in a recent interview. The Alonzo hard fork, the planned upgrade that will finally allow developers to build smart contracts on Cardano, is more or less on schedule, with late July or early August date expected to be penciled in. In fact, the first Alonzo testnet went live just yesterday. There's another piece of news that we're going to go over that's saying just that. We're going to skip this part. Smart contracts, he wanted to say, are the capstone, the holy grail of utility. Ergo, it is only understandable that ADA's value will hike on the foundation of expectations associated with it. Something similar was also alluded to by Lark Davis in a recent video, with the analyst stating smart contracts are coming, and they're coming very soon. You can see the price building in that anticipation. Smart contracts obviously are going to kick off a revolution in terms of what is possible on Cardano, he added. Not only the deployment, however, Cardano's ERC20 converter is nearing the testnet phase 2, which with the same likely to further fuel integrations with Cardano. Will it also participate a wider immigration from the Ethereum network, though? Unlikely, Davis noted. I disagree. I think it's actually going to open the door to quite a bit of that. That's the whole reason why they're doing that. They're going to be able to port things over from Ethereum. A lot of people, not just new cryptocurrencies and projects, are going to be building on Cardano since day one, but a lot of the Ethereums are going to port over, especially if Cardano can be quicker and cheaper and have a higher transaction rate. So this could be the beginning of really ADA's assertion in the dominance of even maybe pushing for that number 2 spot. There are so many things going on. This is a good time to be there. Now, entry points. I think Cardano dipped. I think right now, we'll check the board in a minute, but it's about $1.35 or so. So, almost half off its all-time high. With the market sentiment right now, I mean, there's a little thing that says the depreciation of these two cryptos pulled down the ADA price to 92 cents. Imagine those people who had buy orders that were just set. Listen, setting buy orders at ridiculously low prices is not a bad idea, because sometimes you have those candles down, they wick down really quick, and you fill those orders, and that's why it dips right back up, because people have buy orders set. So if you're looking to get into Cardano, depending on where you're at in your investment strategy, would you buy at $1.35 right now? Not a bad idea, but definitely with the market sentiment being the way it is right now, could you set a buy order at $1.07 or 99 cents or whatever? I mean, dollar cost averaging on the way down. Set those buy orders, you guys, so you don't have to sit at your computer all day and watch, CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko and wait to get on, and they'll trigger automatically. So if you don't know how to set buy orders, you can always ask me in the messages. I can always help you with that, or there's a lot of informative videos on YouTube that you can watch. It's just an easy way to just kind of hit a quick low, and that's what I'm doing. I've got some pretty decent buy orders set on Cardano and Polygon. If some of them hit, that's going to be totally awesome, because I know at some point this whole thing's going to recover. We're going to look back and say it was just another typical pattern in the BTC chart, which does affect the overall market. So next piece of news, you guys, Cardano successfully launches crucial testnet as smart contract integration approaches. I think this is probably talking about, well, let's read it. Cardano developer Input Output Hong Kong reveals that the successfully rolled out a testnet that will play a key role in smart contracts integrating of the 5th largest crypto asset, probably soon to no longer be the 5th. Cardano's going to climb back to that number 3 spot. I think it's going to hang on to it for a while as it competes with Ethereum for the number 2 spot. In a tweet, IOHK tells its 122,800 followers that the Alonzo Blue, which is the first of 3 development stages aimed towards the launch of smart contract capabilities for Cardano, is up and running. Good, they're meeting their timelines. This was a knock on Cardano for a very long time, people calling it vaporware and people saying it's nothing but a bunch of hype and nothing but a bunch of nothings, right? No, Cardano's doing what they were set out to do. They're playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. So in my opinion, good place to put your money. It's a 30, 60, 90-day plan. I'm not going to read this whole article, you guys. You should definitely read some of this yourself, especially if you're holding on to Cardano or if you're considering getting into Cardano and just understanding that, hey, yes, things could still go back down, but if you want to be in something that's going to recover very, very well, when we do recover from this bull run, Cardano, it's the place to be. Place where most of my money's at. So I'm actually, preaching to the choir here. I've got my money in Cardano. It is still my number 1 holding. I think it's going to remain my number 1 holding because I have a lot of faith in this particular project and Charles Hoskinson and all that he's doing. Long-winded, I've said enough. Okay, let's get to another couple pieces of news here. This is a kind of like a bridge piece of news that's going to go back into the last 2 pieces I have to tie up today's episode on Synalytic Crypto. By the way, if you have not joined my channel, could you please do so. Click the red button. Subscribe, send this to somebody else, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever you feel like doing. Your opinions are all valued here, and leave comments below. It's the best way to support my channel, you guys. I do this all for free. I have no backers. I'm not trying to make money off my subscribers. I'm never going to sell you guys a program so you can get special inside information. Just support me by giving me a thumbs up, a like, and a comment, and subscribing. I appreciate it. We covered a little piece of news on this a couple days ago in my last couple of videos, and I did say that you guys are going to see a lot more of this, so here's the proof. It's right here. U.S. athletes hoping to score big with crypto contracts. Yep, that's going to happen a lot, you guys, and that's a good thing. Being a sports fan myself, I love seeing it, and I know that there's a lot of people, a lot of sports people across, whether it's basketball, hockey, football, soccer, whatever. These guys make a lot of money. They make millions of dollars. They have these huge contracts, and they're going to start putting some of it in crypto because they're smart, or at least the people who are advising them are smart. So as the world of cryptocurrency continues to expand rapidly, different sectors are taking notice. One interesting demographic taking the plunge into digital currencies is professional athletes. That's a very big world right there. Professional athletes. It's not just a couple of NFL players anymore. It's not just a couple of NBA guys. People are going to start pouring their contracts. And why wouldn't they? They have the money to do it. I mean, it's the best thing they can do for their future, right? All it took was a forward treat. Pay me in Bitcoin. The former Carolina Panther player, Russell Okung, the guy I mentioned in the video a couple days ago, and I had said before, because I'm a Chargers fan, formerly San Diego Chargers fan, now unfortunately LA Chargers, but I'm still a fan. I do know of Russell Okung. He's the one that kind of kicked this whole thing off, at least for the NFL, right? To get cryptocurrencies communities talking. With those four words, he changed how some athletes took the structure of their contracts, especially when it came to adding crypto. The idea had been mentioned before the May 2019 tweet. However, Okung became the first United States pro athlete to really make a push to be paid in crypto. Thank you, Russell Okung. Good job on you. You are a pioneer when it comes to that, and you really did help open the door for what I think is going to be the floodgates opening up of athletes doing exactly what we're talking about right now. Let's skip that little part right here. The way money is handled from creation to dissemination is a part of that power. Getting paid in Bitcoin is the first step of opting out of the corrupt, manipulated economy we all inhabit. Wow, what a statement. This guy's that's like hero-worthy kind of stuff right there. The man knows finances. He knows what's going on. He knows the toilet paper dollar comparison that we do often on this channel. He knows what's going on. He knows Bitcoin is the way, cryptocurrencies is the way, and he is helping establish a platform to deliver that message, and I'm super stoked on it. Let's get into a little bit more of this. It's worth noting that Okung's tweet stating he will be paid in Bitcoin is slightly misleading. The Panthers did not pay him directly in Bitcoin. So this is true. I did say in the video a couple days ago, it's just a matter of time before so many people are asking for this that I think professional ball clubs and owners are going to be implementing ways, because guys can structure them in their contract where they will actually do it for them. Does it really matter? The point is that people are going to be putting their money into Bitcoin, and whether they do it on their own or their financial advisors are doing it for them, or like I said, the owners provide that direct to them, which is probably really coming, it's a good thing. Instead, Carolina diverted half of his salary to Strike, and only then it was processed into Bitcoin. Doesn't matter how it gets there, it's getting there. A slight but important difference. At the time of the deal, Okung would have been handed around 240 Bitcoins at $27,000 each. I think the guy did pretty good for himself at this point. NFL rookie steps up. A few other athletes have followed in Okung's footsteps, such as Sean Culkin and I can't read that name. However, one NFL rookie is grabbing the most attention, the Jaguars. I talked about this a couple days ago. I remember this. This is big because this is a big name. This is a huge face. Look, love you, Russell Okung, but as an offensive lineman, you're not really the guy that you see on SportsCenter doing all these things. As the number one pick in the draft, Trevor Lawrence, you're going to garner a lot more attention. So let's read this real quick. The Jaguars' number one pick in the NFL draft, Trevor Lawrence, these guys pretty hyped coming out of college right here, will have his signing bonus sent right to Blockfolio to be converted into Bitcoin. Awesome. His bonus was $24.1 million, almost 85% more than Okung's entire contract. At the time of the draft, that would have bought him north of 400 Bitcoins. Lawrence has also made waves in the NFT sector with the release of a collection of digital art card collections. The sale raised more than $225,000 for local charities. Awesome. Lawrence has also invested in Solana. Some pros are feeling the squeeze after Bitcoin's crash. Everybody's feeling the squeeze out of Bitcoin's crash because especially if you're a newer investor and you don't understand that these things happen and that we always recover, of course they're feeling that way. I'm not going to read the rest of this article, but it just speaks to the fact that, hey, we're all human here. We all have emotions. We all have fear when it comes to our investments, and seeing something that can be so volatile can be scary. That's why I always urge you guys to do your own research and to invest wisely and to dollar cost average into and out of your positions. It's the best way you can do it. I wish that my channel had a wider reaching audience because this advice is solid advice. This is 5 years in the market and somebody who humbly admits that he made a lot of mistakes, okay? But learning from your mistakes is so much more valuable than the money you have to throw in this market. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Gosh, I love to see these kinds of things. Long article, but worth reading, especially if you are a sports fan. This is probably the most important piece of the news today. So all of you who have made it this far in my videos, I appreciate you. You are my true fans, and thank you so much. This is big, and this is going to play out over the next couple weeks and into the next month or two of this cycle, because this is big news, and most of this is probably being done over the OTC market. Crypto whales bought 2.85 billion, 100,000 million, 100,000 million, yeah, 2.8, that's a lot of zeros. Sometimes I see too many zeros and I wonder if it's trillions or billions, but obviously it's not trillions, because that would be silly, Mike. The overall market cap isn't even 2.8 trillion. But anyways, 208, whatever. Lots of money, lots and lots of money, according to Chainalysis, something you can track and prove and trust. So this is a real article. Blockchain insight platform Chainalysis is revealing that large investors, get out of here, advertisement. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. How do I get rid of that? Close. Oh my gosh, that's gonna really piss me off. Oh my gosh. Way to just interrupt my video. How do I get rid of this? Get out of here. Well, I can't read this article if this stupid thing's gonna be in my way. Forgive me, guys. Onward we go. Bitcoin's largest crypto asset by market cap tumbled down below 40,000. In the blockchain analysis firm's latest market intelligence report, Chainalysis discloses that some of its investors exited their positions at a loss, while Bitcoin whales bought massive amounts of BTC at the height of the crypto correction. There's been more than one height to this crypto correction, and I do expect this trend to continue. Look, there's very good information in this. We are going to read the rest of this article, and understanding that it's the new people that are getting their butts kicked right now, and that's a shame, but it's the way it is. So last week was challenging for everyone in crypto, and some investors incurred large losses, but the industry appears while responding, and most investors remain confident. Yeah, because most of us are long-termers. For example, investor whales bought the dip, buying 77,000 Bitcoin last week. The rich are getting richer. They're stacking up your Bitcoin when you sell at a loss. Please do not do that. At the time of writing, Bitcoin is trading at $37,000. It's actually a little bit lower than that right now, like 35, 34. Given the whale's huge purchase value of around 2.85 billion. Chainalysis adds that 1.2 million Bitcoin, 1.2 million Bitcoin, guys, that's roughly like 10% of the entire supply. 5% of the entire supply, was sold at a loss of between 5 and 25%. Another 120,000 Bitcoin was sold for a loss of 25% or more. Pay attention to this. The blockchain analysis firm estimates that the majority of the selling came from short-term holders. Yep. Newbies, guys, newbies. The main reason why I even created this channel was to speak to the newbies, to let you know, don't get caught up in the whale games. This is what they do every single time. The best thing you can do is dollar cost average and hold for the long term. Please, you're going to look back and you're going to cry one day. Why did I sell at a loss? I didn't need to sell at a loss. You're so much better taking a profit and then buying back at a loss, guys. You got to do it in reverse order. I just really want to see the little guys win. I'm tired of the whales. We don't want people to have, you want a couple of entities, whatever you want to call it, having all the Bitcoin, because at that point they're going to monopolize the whole thing, and then it kind of ruins what Bitcoin was invented for. This is for the people, and I want the people to have their piece of the pie, no matter how small that piece is, even if it's a tiny little blip. Then you got to start collecting Satoshis, even if you can only collect Satoshis at a time. Do it, store it, save it. These guys are going to, the same people who are driving this market down are going to drive it right back up again, and it's going to reach all-time new highs like they always do. For Bitcoin, at least $3.2 billion was lost last week. This is just for Bitcoin that was held in the last 4 weeks prior to being sent a restriction that increases the certainty that these are real losses. Almost all of his $3.2 billion was incurred by Bitcoin held between 4 and 13 weeks. People who decided to pile in while everything was on the rise. Understandable, especially for newer investors, but what are you going to do? Are you going to pile into something after it's doubled or tripled, or are you going to buy when there's blood in the streets and get a better position for your price? So sometimes you got to learn these lessons the hard ways. Look, I'm not giving anybody a hard time. Like I just said a few minutes ago, and the reason why I tell people about these kinds of things is because I've made all these mistakes. I've made them more than once, and I made them early. I didn't understand how to invest in this market. I do now, and that's the point. You can learn the hard way, or you can follow the right people to teach you, and you can get the right amounts of news, and you can follow what people are doing. You can do some research into and you won't be one of those people who bought in the last 4 and 13 weeks and lost their butts, because you don't need to. This is Bitcoin. Hold strong. suggesting that recent investors were major sellers. Yeah, that's rough, dude. Anyways, let's go back to this last piece of news here before I tie this up. Bitcoin dominance cycle suggests the 2017 crypto rally could repeat. I wholeheartedly agree with this. I've been telling you guys for the last 5 or 6, maybe 7 videos that I do expect, and I've gone on record saying that I expect by the end of this year, we are going to see something very, very similar to what we saw in 2017. That massive blow off top, the euphoria, the altcoin season, the mega altcoin, the thing that everyone's been talking about, it's coming. And this dip, this pullback, this manipulated piece of time that we're going through has been done in preparation for that. Because the people who are already rich in Bitcoin and rich in altcoins and all these things, they're greedy, you guys. They all share one thing in common. They're greedy. They don't care about people. They care about power, control, and manipulation. It's funny to them. It's just like a game to them. Don't get caught up in that game at the bottom, because you know what? They're going to shoot this stuff right back up to the top. And they're going to do it all again. So please beware. This is good, evidence that these things are coming. I think September is going to be massive. I think towards the end of summer, we're really going to start leading into that place where euphoria is going to start building, and people are going to get sucked back in, and they're going to get sucked back in at these astronomical prices, and then the bottom's going to fall out again. So be prepared for that. Watch Synalytics Crypto. I will always keep you up on the news, and I will always try to give you my best honest opinions as to what's going on, and as well as what I am doing with my own money and my own investment strategies. So let's read just a little bit of this. I don't know how long of an article it is. Maybe the rest of it will be up to you. Bitcoin dominance patterns are showing similar lows to and an eerie resemblance to 2017. Yes, it can be eerie if you know how that ended early 2018. So what does this suggest for the BTC price? For the purposes of historical comparison, it's also worth noting that the pattern of the dominance chart looks very much like it did in the earlier part of 2017. It really does. Boom, we have these and then all these things, and then boom, boom, boom. As the markets have gone into meltdown since May 12th, Bitcoin dominance has fluctuated dramatically, bucking 2021's prevailing trend. Before the sell-off started in earnest, BTC dominance had been falling pretty steadily from around 70% in January to a low of under 40% by the time the crash was underway. Usually when the market dominance drops like that, that means altcoin season is underway. That's how it drops. By the time this crash went okay, at the point BTC dominance was the lowest since the summer of 2018. It had since recovered to above 43%, still very low, coming down from 70%. I do think that this is going to continue. I think that we are going to see a little bit of a rally, and it's going to start with Bitcoin, and then I think we're going to get dip, and I think Bitcoin's going to go well under the 40% dominance rate, and that is going to kick off the bull run, the altcoin bull run that I do expect to see towards the end of summer or towards the end of this year. That has yet to be seen. Nobody has a crystal ball. Certainly not me, but we shall see. Time will tell. If the same pattern is underway this time around, when the market is likely to be at the equivalent of summer 2017, when the alt season was just ramping up and still some months away from Bitcoin's peak price of around 20,000 in December 2017. Of course, while patterns draw some interesting parallels, BTC dominance doesn't necessarily tell that much about price, but it does offer insights into how the flagship asset is performing in relation to the rest of the markets, underpinning certain trends. So, what are the likely scenarios for BTC dominance, and what would it mean for the markets? Follow the money flow. It's a lot to read there, but basically you can see it for yourself. You can find this article yourself. You can find out that there's a lot going on, and it always starts with BTC. Let's read this quote. Excuse me, guys. It's kind of dry. If we enter a prolonged bear market, I would expect BTC dominance to rise, as it did in 2018, 2019, but the correlation we've seen so far isn't enough to trigger that. I do agree with that. I don't think, number one, that we're entering into a prolonged bear market. There's too much stuff going on. I do expect BTC to recover, like I said, and then have it start to pour down. That's why being in top 10s, top 20s, top 50s is a really good place to be. And then someday, towards the end of this year, all of the altcoin gem stuff's going to come back, and everyone's going to be going crazy for the next 100x. It's all repeat. It's all the same stuff, you guys. You just have to be aware of the patterns and be positioned to take advantage of that. Read another quote. Any reading of one crypto asset for another is a taxable event. Any reading? I think they meant to say trading. So whatever the profit motivation is, the crypto asset investor must account for the fact that rebalancing of the portfolio may have a tax cost. Yes, it does. There are ways to offset that in the United States. You can, if you have something and you can sell it at a loss and then kind of buy it right back, you've created a tax event in your favor. So if you're planning on taking profits, you can kind of work that out in your favor if you understand how to do those kinds of things. The unknown quantity. I see the word Doge here. Makes me not even want to read the rest of that. Talks about risk off. Look, go here and read this article yourself, because you do want to be prepared for what's coming. You do not want to miss the ship that's going to take off, this rocket ship, by the end of the year. And you want to be positioned to put your money in the right places and get ready for the whole next cycle of news. So anyways, you guys know I love you. Let's give this a refresh real quick. We'll take a look real quick at the market. 1.515 trillion. 24 hours still looking a little red. 1 hour starting to bounce back a little bit green. This is the same thing that's been happening for the past week and a half or so. Barring take out those big candle wicks down, we're still seeing sideways action, which means there's not a lot of buying happening right now. There's also not a drastic amount of selling happening right now. We are still definitely in a downtrend. Look at Cardano down under $1.40. Some of the other ones that I like to look at, Chainlink, $25. Chainlink's actually holding pretty well right now. Polygon Matic at $1.66. You can see that there's deals to be had. Now, personally, I am not putting any more money into the market right now on the daily time frames, because I do have my buy order set for the projects that I'm looking at. Look, I'm also going to be making a couple of videos for you guys about some of the altcoin gems, not low cap, unheard of, hidden gems, just altcoin gems that I'm still holding strong through this dip, because I'm not necessarily reportioning my portfolio. There are projects that I do believe in very, very much. I will be talking about them one by one. Most of them I've already talked about, but I want to reassure you guys and understand and help you to understand that you don't have to sell at a loss. You don't have to think that everything's going to zero. A lot of people talk about, this is time to retool your portfolio, and that is true to some degree, but at what cost? You've got to weigh out that cost. For me personally, that cost does not work out. I'm holding on to the projects I believe in. I do believe that they are altcoin gems, and I do believe that when we get back to the end of this summer and the blast off is ready to go, I think some of these are really, really, really going to be big winners. So I will be talking to you guys about that. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Y'all know I love you. Happy trading. Be peaceful. Be joyful. Go out there. Be kind to somebody today. Believe me, it makes you feel good. Peace.